Hey, good evening. This is Meteorologist Chris Smith here with the Panhandle Live at 6. Meteorologist Dan Nyman joining me as well this evening. Happy Monday.
A cold Monday.
It is a cold Monday. Did you I guess the time change, did it bother you nearly as much as it bothers a parent?
No, I didn't even notice the time had changed actually until about 7 o'clock last night. I was like, I'm kind of hungry. Oh, it's 8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
So I haven't quite grown up enough yet to notice the time has changed. Although the sunset tonight, Chris, of course, coming quite early. Seasonal depression is back.
Yeah, it was 4:54 or 4:53 was it this evening, I think? 4:54 may have been last night. But yeah, the sunset's getting earlier, and you see behind me as we look out over into Destin, temperature falling and nary a breath of sunshine out there this evening. Winds are out of the northwest at about 11 miles per hour. Panama City Beach, looking out over across Middle Beach Road and Front Beach Road there. Temperature 60 degrees and winds are out of the north right now at 9 miles per hour. Live Doppler radars, all quiet across our neck of the woods. No signs of any rainfall. We've kept clear skies pretty much all day. As we look out over across the country, some clouds moving off the east coast. All the active weather up into the northeastern United States, where actually they are seeing showers and thunderstorms. And we have some pretty active weather out across the northwestern United States. So the kind of two corners are more active. And there you go. We throw on the radar picture there and you see some thunderstorms up near Rochester, New York, and stretching into New Hampshire, Vermont, Boston seeing wet weather. Portland, Seattle seeing some wet weather. And look in the upper elevations there, getting into the Cascades you're talking about. Some wintry precipitation as you look up into the northwestern United States. Back here at home, 50s and 60s. Temperatures already dropping quickly this evening with clear skies and winds, I guess you could say somewhat light. They were breezy at times today, but compared to 24 hours ago, we're looking at temperatures that are right about the same. A few of us a little bit warmer, a few a little bit cooler, but on average, pretty close to the same. That tells us it's going to be chilly tonight. Winds are blowing out of the north very lightly. Most of us less than 5 miles per hour right now. As we go hour by hour this evening, we'll keep the clear skies across northwest Florida as we make our way through the overnight hours tonight into tomorrow morning. So again, we expect another night of a lot of 40s across our region, maybe some low 50s down along the immediate coastline. Those winds are going to be blowing, again, very lightly out of the north. You see most of us are going to be into that 5 mile an hour range through 9, 10, 11 o'clock tonight through tomorrow morning. So as we move through the next several hours, we're going to continue to see those temperatures drop this evening down into the 40s. We'll go low 40s inland, low 50s expected down along the coastline. For the kids at the bus stop tomorrow morning, a dilemma day for sure. Dress in layers because we'll start off into the 40s but warm up into the 70s tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk about that quick warm up for tomorrow, and a big cool down maybe next week. Some weekend rain chances. That's coming up in just a bit, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Of course, cool weather been all the story the last several days. Here's a look at our sky cam. Charlie's drone, Chris's son, was out in action just about an hour ago. Of course, a chilly feel out there. We were all bundled up, hanging out towards the coastline. North winds in effect as well. That has, of course, really calmed down the waters. The most textbook view of the Gulf I think we could have possibly filmed when you get into this sort of fall north wind type of setup. Now, of course, as we get in through the next several days, things are going to gradually warm up, but let's talk about the past few days too, because some of you guys helped send in some viewer photos. And of course, you could send these in on the app. We'll show you that in just a moment. David Wesley, thanks for contributing here this sunset over the weekend with some extra cloud coverage out there, adding a fantastic view, one we often find here into the fall season. We also saw with some of the rain a little while ago, that rainbow popping up over the Hathaway Bridge. So pretty picturesque last several days. You saw rougher conditions when we briefly had onshore winds a few days ago, and now the impact or difference that you see from that today with the north winds, things much calmer than you see down there. So thanks to Christy for helping us get that distinction put in place. Also had some clouds out there a few days ago, Sunday too, seeing some brief cloud coverage, especially over towards my house. Pretty hard to find sunshine at times into north Miami, but now shine out for this week. And of course, things changing quickly over the course of this week too. We'll eventually find an onshore wind and we'll find somewhat warmer temperatures heading in to the upcoming weekend. Now, of course, you can send those photos in on the app. Chris has got it pulled up for us here. As you see, Chris, that Submit Photos tab going to be very useful for us as we get in towards the winter season, especially with active weather. We certainly would love to have your contributions to our show live at 6 here on weekdays, Monday through Friday. They add some content for us, and of course, we also get some much needed updates during the active weather that we see here in the Panhandle as well. So I guess I'll pull that up for you, Chris.
Yeah.
Here. You've got the
see that right there?
app a little easier to see.
Yep. And you can go ahead and submit your pictures. Image successfully uploaded. Thank you. And then that goes right into the weather computers, and we'll be able to share that tonight at 10. So it's just that easy by opening up the app, scroll down to submit photos and videos, and right there you go.
Yep, you got the QR code here on the screen for that Panhandle weather app. You might find us annoying if you already have the app, but of course, downloading it certainly supports our efforts here at Panhandle Weather, and we appreciate you supporting us as well. Of course, still a lot of forecasts to talk about here. One of the things we don't have much to talk about, though, Chris, is tropical activity.
Yep.
I think we'll get into some of that in just a few minutes. And then, of course, I'm looking forward to some slightly warmer temperatures, too. All of that in about
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. With professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
We're proud to bring you the most popular cars in the world, like the stylish Camry and the sporty Corolla. Get award-winning style and 1.99% APR on a new Camry, named the best new model by Kelley Blue Book. Plus, you get 90 days until you make your first payment. Curb appeal comes standard on the new Corolla, designed to wow from the inside out. Get 3.49% APR plus 90 days until your first payment. Panama City Toyota, your Camry and Corolla headquarters.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Now, from your trusted team of meteorologists at Panhandle Weather, this is your evening forecast update.
Tracy Gaddis in Mexico Beach says it's brr on this Monday across northwest Florida. So let's head down to the tropics and warm things up at least a little bit. Although, if you really, truth be told, the tropics are on the cool side right now. Things much quieter out there as we look out over into the Atlantic and down into the Western Caribbean. We do have some showers and thunderstorms there, and that's a favored area this time of year. North Atlantic is okay. And then all the way over to the coast of Africa. I think the main development region pretty much shut off now as we get deeper into the hurricane season. So some pretty good news there. Now, as we talked about, areas where you typically see development this time of year, a southeastern U.S. coastline and back down over into parts of Central America. So we'll keep an eye there. Climate Prediction Center says over through the middle part of this week to next week, there's a 20 to 40% chance we could see something try and develop down there, and even into the week beyond that, similar story. So again, it's more of a climatological favored area for development, so we'll keep an eye on it, but not seeing anything necessarily to be overly concerned about at least right now. Next named storm, if we do get another named storm, it's going to be Nestor. So let's talk about what's going on weather-wise back here a little closer to home. A live look out over across Panama City Beach right now. Things are all quiet as we await a little bit more illumination from the almost full moon. Moon will be full on Wednesday evening. It's going to be one of those super moons. As we look over Panama City Beach, there's a little different view there. We got a few more lights. And I tell you what, the Gulf, it is the Lake of Mexico, the Lake of America, whatever you want to call it. It's flat right now. Very little wave action near the coastline. As you do get offshore, things are still a little bumpy, a little bit farther out there. Looking out over across Panama City Beach, no one dining out this evening, at least outside, as temperatures already dropping from the 60s into the 50s. So here's what's happening. A cool start to the week we've seen, but the warming trend is going to be on the way up. So we'll see a nice warm ending to the week. And right now, as we mentioned, the tropics are quiet as of now. Temperatures this morning started off 40s just about area-wide. Meanwhile, high temperatures today stuck mainly into the 60s. We did get up to 70 in Weewa, Bluntstown, and Mariana, Tallahassee, and Sopchoppy, but the rest of us mainly into the mid to upper 60s. Temperatures right now falling down through the 60s and 50s across our area. So winds very light overnight tonight will be at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Temperatures this evening will drop from the 50s down into the 40s as you wake up tomorrow morning. Beaches may stay closer to 50 degrees, but what we will see will be mainly clear skies across the northwest Florida area, not only for tonight, but on into tomorrow. Things are going to be all quiet there. And even as we move into Wednesday, we start to see some changes, and this is going to be critical. Notice we see a little bit more of that southeasterly flow, a little more cloud cover. That's the humidity increasing, and the warmth will be increasing as well. So for now, winds are out of the north. Tomorrow morning will be out of the northeast, not very strong, but then notice tomorrow afternoon and evening more of an easterly flow. And that will all be part of the process as we head into Wednesday with that onshore flow. That will really begin to uptick the humidity. So by the end of the week, it's not going to feel like anything like fall. It's going to be a lot stickier across our area. Temperatures for tonight, 40s inland, 50s expected right along the coastline. The kids will have to wear a jacket early in the morning, but they'll be able to dress in layers because look at that. Highs tomorrow climbing up into the 70s. With more on the warm-up on the way, we go to meteorologist Dan Nyman.
Yeah, something to look forward to, of course. We'll see plenty more of this cool weather here in the coming months. So if we could sneak in any sort of warmer feel while we can, well, of course, that would be a much beneficial feel outside. High temperatures for Tuesday starting to trend in that direction after spending some time only breaking into the 60s across the Panhandle. We'll see high temperatures for Tuesday back up inside of the mid-70s in many locations. Of course, some spots, Apalachicola, I'm seeing Inlet Beach over towards Pensacola, slightly cooler, but over towards Tallahassee, Bluntstown, 75, 76, about as nice as you could ask for, especially with the clear, sunny skies. Now, as far as Wednesday is concerned, clear skies, still generally light winds, even with the wind shift Chris talked about. You'll see temperatures for inland spots right back down towards the mid-40s, so some improvement, I guess, if you're splitting hairs. However, as far as the feel outside, if you live here year-round, you'd say, hey, it's still pretty uncomfortably cool outside. Now, towards the coast, you see a little more of that impact and change. Inlet Beach up to 59 for a low, Destin 58, 56 towards Tyndall Air Force Base, and that trend continues. Wednesday highs breaching towards 80 degrees, might get there in a few spots up towards the tri-state, but down towards the coast, a little slower recovery coming, especially with the damage done to the Gulf water temperatures, which have fallen into the mid-70s in spots along the Emerald Coast. Head over towards Apalachicola Bay or in towards the Big Bend. Gulf water temperatures down into the 60s in many locations. Live Doppler radar, all quiet. Still a rip current advisory there for the westward facing Gulf County beaches. As you look up towards the northeast, my neck of the woods, a little more rainfall starting to stretch on through. You'll see this off and on in waves towards the northeastern part of the country, one of two spots where we really expect to see impactful weather continuing. It's the northeast and the Pacific Northwest where you definitely start to see a little bit more rainfall as we stretch in towards this time of year. Big onshore surge of moisture producing showers across Portland, Seattle, head up into the higher elevations, you got some wintry mix up there, possibly even some snow stretching in towards Montana. Our temperature trend certainly heading away from the direction of that wintry feel. Inland spots especially, I think if you're north of Highway 20, you're going to feel pretty good here as we get through Wednesday and on in through the weekend. Notice towards the end of the weekend, big changes though. Temps down from up towards 80 degrees at the coast to 80 degrees on inland spots on Sunday. They dip quickly back down into the 60s, much cooler than average. On social media, you might see some massively cool numbers coming in from some of the weather models. We'll see. Probably a little too early to write those in as fact, although temperatures potentially as cool as 10 to 15 degrees cooler than normal for the year might still be possible. The warm temperatures all stretching in from high pressure back west towards Texas. You see it kind of go in waves here as we get in towards this time of year. Warmth on the west coast typically means cool temperatures on the east coast, and then the pattern flips. The ridge builds east, and we enjoy the warmth while the cooler temps stretch back west. As we get in towards the middle of this week, very zonal flow starts setting up. That's that east to west motion to your upper level pattern. As that happens, well, things not really too temperamental in either direction, just right about where they should be for the time of year. We talked about the enhanced risk of rainfall across the Northeast. That's the only spot where we see that little dip sort of shape into the jet stream, and that could create some extra lift here up across north parts of New York and stretching in towards the northeastern states. But even then, you see the changes coming later this week. Already by Tuesday, a lot more of that east-west sort of motion. And ultimately, the point being with that, things should turn much quiet. And of course, Chris, here on the West Coast, it's a similar story. That storm track today, a big surge of moisture onshore, but things ultimately start to settle down here as far as the waviness of that upper level pattern. And that sets the stage for what should be a very quiet week in the Panhandle here for the next several days.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to be watching for as we make our way over the course of the week into the weekend will be that western storm system to kind of buckle the jet stream and allow for a surge of cooler air to maybe come in by the end of the weekend, the start of next week. Could bring us some small rain chances, but nothing really sticking out as far as anything great when it comes to those rain chances across the southeastern part of the United States. So let's talk about what's going to be happening over the next few days. You see the two corners of the screen there. That's where all the active weather is. Meanwhile, for our neck of the woods, things are looking much quieter as a ridge of high pressure builds in. We'll see, really honestly, a little bit more of a zonal flow. And that's when we say zonal, it's mean you look at the line there up at the Canadian border, it's purple, left to right. Then the blue, left to right. Then the orange, left to right. And then kind of the redder color at the bottom, generally left to right. It's what we call a zonal flow. But watch what's going to be happening as we move over the course of the week. There's your big Pacific storm system, and that eventually digs into the southeast, and that will bring with it a trough of low pressure that will bring us maybe a chance of rainfall on Sunday, but then we think cooler weather as we head into next week. So we see that trough across the east coast with the cool weather like we were looking at this weekend into today, and then that ridge of high pressure with the warm weather out across the western United States. With us. The pattern will be, look at this, that's what I'm talking about. The dew point temperature is getting up maybe close to 70 on Sunday. That's air you can wear, especially this time of year. It won't feel like any bit like fall on Sunday. But then, if we're right about that trough of low pressure, we get a nice cool down coming into Monday. There you see the minimal rain chances, but still a chance of rainfall over the weekend as that trough of low pressure moves through. For us, quiet weather over the next several days. We'll keep a fair amount of sunshine, a little bit more cloud cover Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Peekaboo sunshine we'll go with, but nothing in the way of any rainfall until we get on into the weekend. You can see there's your front right there. There's your broken line of showers and more active weather towards the top part of the screen, but the southern part not as active. So as we look at that 7-day forecast, 70s expected near the coastline over the next several days, warming up maybe close to 80, but this time of year with the water temperature 71 degrees, you're going to be hard pressed to touch 80 degrees at the beaches, especially with an onshore wind because you're bringing in that cooler air mass. But look at my inland friends. You get away from the water, we'll certainly be talking about high temperatures into the 80s. You saw there the rain chances small at about 20% as we head on into your Sunday. And look at those temperatures, maybe a big cool down, could be like a 15-degree drop, similar to kind of what we saw yesterday and today here once again next week, Dan.
Yeah, kind of that time of year now, Chris, where you get the ridge and the trough on either sides of the country, and As that happens, you end up finding that the weather just doesn't seem to stay the same for a very long period of time. It's hard to dress for sure, unless you're, of course, keeping close touch on what's happening on that Panhandle weather app every single day.
Always handy with the Panhandle weather app. Make sure to download it. It's absolutely free. Get the forecast tailored to your location. Get alerts based upon your location as well. Dan today was adding river information and tide information to the app.
Yeah, that's right. 2 new tabs on the website. If you go to panhandleweather.com/forecast and then /rivers or /tides, you'll find all of that information, more than 50 locations with tide data, sunrise, sunset data for that specific location, and then the moonrise, moonset, and percent illumination data included within each of those locations as well. I learned actually, Chris, from a viewer who reached out about some extra, sort of requests for the website. That moon illumination and the rise and set times actually very useful information for some of the fishermen and women across the area. Didn't 100% know that, but you learn something new every day. So there you see it.
Yeah, so if you go there, it defaults to the channel entrance for St. Andrews Bay. But you could go, let's say, over to Pensacola area. You see how it breaks down to, you could go to, like, say, the Pensacola Beach Pier, and that will pull up the information there for Laura Point and Escambia Bay. If you want to know, like, say, Apalachicola Bay, we can go over there to East Point, and you see now through Wednesday the tidal information located there as well. And we had river levels, and we have that broken down. You can go look at Woodruff Dam, the Blackwater River, Bruce Creek, Chipola River. Now, it depends upon the location. Some of them only have back information, like where it's been over the past 48 hours. Only some of the locations actually have forecast information. It's the way that they do that. So if you're wondering why is there not a forecast for my river, it's because they don't issue a forecast for that one unless it's in flood.
Yeah, either way, maybe not the prettiest web pages I've ever made or put together, Chris, but I think what's most important is probably the information.
Yes.
And that was kind of the best I could do with the information layout, but it's always cool to keep adding stuff here to the website. And of course, there's a lot more coming for the marine page, especially over the next several months as well. Give it a look though. We'll keep trying to put some blog posts up there too, in case you'd rather read the forecast than hear from us. And it'll be a kind of evolving life form here on the website as we head in towards the winter time.
A driftwood point there on the Choctawhatchee Bay. So we got all the bays and coastal points there out into the Gulf for your tide information. But awesome job, Dan, and another day in the books here for Panhandle weather.
Yeah, a lot of checkbox items ticked, and we'll have plenty more to work through tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, same time right here, Facebook, on YouTube. Potentially, we could be on TikTok as early as tomorrow. TikTok Live is going through approval too. So all sorts of platforms you can find us. We'll have the forecast 24 hours on the channel as well. Thanks for stopping by this evening. It's always a pleasure to share the forecast, and it's always easier when the weather's this quiet as well.
Y'all have a wonderful night.